Hi guys, I was just about to make my daily cup of coffee because yes, we are allowed to have 1 cup of coffee on nutritional balancing, and I'm talking about drinking coffee, not coffee enemas. So today let's stick to drinking coffee. So yes, we're allowed 1 cup, woohoo! And I figured I would show you guys how I make my cup of coffee. So the kind of coffee that I typically buy is something like this. This is a Canadian brand, I believe, Giddy Yo-Yo. I love their products. They make certified organic coffee, and it's also certified mold or mycotoxin free. I'm sure you guys have heard that coffee is generally prone to having mold issues, and especially in Canada and the US, we typically get the leftovers. Other countries have strict regulations when they import their coffees. They make sure that there's like a certain threshold that is met in terms of mold toxicity, and they will reject a lot of batches. And what happens is we end up getting those moldy batches of coffee in Canada and in the US because we don't regulate that. So it's very important that you look for that. There's other brands. I rotate between this, and I'm sure that you've heard of Dave Asprey's Bulletproof Coffee. There's also another brand. It's a US brand. It's called Purity Coffee. Those are all great brands. So they're not only certified organic, but they're certified mold or mycotoxin free. So definitely look for that when you're buying coffee. I use this guy here to make my coffee. It's a Chemex, so it's made out of borosilicate glass, and it uses little paper filters. Like this. It's going to be a little bit hard to see in the video. It uses little paper filters, and it's gravity fed. And oh, I didn't grind my coffee yet, so I'm gonna have to do that. So I grind my drinking coffee fresh, and I don't use these types of grinders that have the little blades, because I used to use that, but I find that it kind of shreds the beans. It doesn't grind the beans. So I bought a conical style of grinder. It's really loud, but I need to process my coffee. 1 minute. Alright, so now I have my freshly ground coffee. And you know what? With this kind of funnel device, you kind of have to figure it out as you go. I just eyeball my coffee because I've been using this for like 2-3 years now, so I know how much coffee to put in there for my liking. Everybody's different. And then I just pour my coffee. And oh, before I do that, I know some people might not like the paper filter idea. I've also, and I haven't tried them yet, but I've also bought these. They're little organic cotton filters that replace these paper filters. So these are a little bit more eco-friendly. You can reuse these quite a bit, apparently. I haven't tried them, but yeah, definitely a good option there. So now I boiled my hot water, and for my water, I just use my, oh, you can see it in the video. Perfect. This guy here. I filter all of my tap water through there that I'm going to use for cooking. I purchase spring water for drinking water, but if I steam my veggies or if I need water for cooking or for making coffee, I use the water from my Zero Water, which is a carbon filter, and I find that the Zero Water filter is better than, let's say, Brita type filter. It filters out a lot more. I get 0, I think it's with this little tester here. I get something like 0 parts per billion or 0 parts per million, something like that, when it goes through the zero water. And through the Brita, you're still left with about 50 parts per million. So there's still some like, I mean, it'll take probably a lot of the minerals out, but it's not my primary source of drinking water. It's just used for cooking and for making my coffee. Some people prefer using distilled water for making coffee. I don't carry distilled water in my house, but that's always an option. So I boil my water, and I know there's a whole, you can buy, this is just a stovetop model, but you can buy these that plug into the wall, and they have different settings depending on whether you want to boil for coffee, tea, because there's different temperatures. I just wing it, but yeah, definitely if you want to be a purist, you could look into that. So I just pour my hot water over top the coffee grounds, just enough to cover it, and I wait about 30 seconds so that the coffee beans soak up the water and the flavors come out. I also use a coffee press once in a while. The thing is, this makes delicious coffee. The flavors are like intense when you do it this way. The only thing is, if you have IBS issues or like sensitive digestion, it's probably not a good method, because I mean, a lot of the particles, the fine particles, are going to go through that wire screen, and yeah, it's going to probably cause upset digestion if you're sensitive to coffee to begin with. So this is a little bit more of a harsh method, but it retains all the nutrients and probably all of the toxins as well. With the paper filter, it probably takes away some of the nutrients, but it probably also takes away some of the toxicity in the coffee. So catch-22 there. But I really enjoy this style of coffee here. And I'll make sure to put a link in the description below of what this is called. It's called a Chemex. And they're not that expensive. I prefer this because ordinary coffee machine, I mean, it's all plastic, and I just don't find that it makes as good a coffee. So yeah, I just go around like this, around the filter. I make sure that I catch all the coffee grinds. And this is what I drink my coffee in. Again, it's borosilicate glass. It's non-porous. You gotta watch with regular ceramic mugs, because a lot of times they're painted and they have an enamel coating, and that'll leach into your coffee. Coffee is very acidic, so you have to be very mindful of what you drink your coffee in. So I like borosilicate glass. It's been proven to be really, really safe. This is a double wall, so because I know if you just drink a hot beverage in a regular glass mug, it gets cold quick. But this one is double walled, so it keeps your coffee warm. It's great. So that's what I drink my coffee in, so that it's very low toxicity. And the type of cream that I buy, it's not always available. I try my best to get it, but the brand is Organic Meadow, which is a Canadian dairy company. And I buy 35% cream when I can. Although I'm a slow oxidizer, I shouldn't be really adding any fats to my diet, but I love like this cup of coffee I have once a day, and it's my treat. So I think it's okay. I put 35% cream, and The organic meadow cream is, it doesn't have any of the polysorbate 80 and carrageenan and all that stuff that they put in regular 35% cream, because it preserves it and it makes it a certain consistency, and it helps to, like, when you turn it into whipping cream to use on desserts, it helps with all of that. Well, this organic meadow is strictly cream. It's just cream straight from the cow. Unfortunately, though, it's pasteurized. It's very difficult to find unpasteurized dairy in Canada because it's illegal. The only thing we can buy in terms of unpasteurized dairy is cheese. You'll find unpasteurized cheese, and that's what I buy. I look for that, and it's typically like the older style, the stinky cheese, you know, not your regular mild cheddar. It's the Parmesan and those yeah, older or stronger tasting cheeses that will be unpasteurized. So that's the kind of cheese that I typically buy and look for. But in terms of milk, cream, yogurts, all of that stuff, everything is pasteurized in Canada, unfortunately. So I don't drink it. I don't consume any of it, except for the little bit that I do put in my coffee. So I remove my filter. Pour a little bit of cream in my cup here. And of course, you never put sugar. Well, some people do, but on a nutritional balancing program, you don't want to be sweetening your coffee. If anything, just a little bit of cream is fine. Look at that. Beautiful. So, this is how I drink my coffee. See you later, guys.